to Everything Mental Health with your hosts, Stephen Edwards and Maureen Edwards.
So I wanted to kind of go on to the next area for anger in our series on anger and talk about the environment and the ways anger can present from an environmental point of view. So, for example, there might be certain environments. It could be a family setting. It could be an intimate partner setting. It could be a social setting. It could be any kind of setting. But they might be provoking for somebody who is dealing with anger.
Yes, and I think we've talked about this a little bit already, but it's not just where you are or who is with you, but it's also what does that setting look like and what does that setting feel like. So if you're in a small room and there's a lot of people, or maybe you're in a small room and you have trauma from your childhood because I don't know, maybe you were in prison or maybe you were abused and locked in a room. These are things that maybe a small room doesn't necessarily escalate the average person's anger level, but it certainly could for someone with a history of negativity in that environment, right? It could be a very hot environment that you're in. We talked about when your body temperature is raising, that's a signal that you're starting to feel angry and anxious and frustrated. So if your temperature is already raised, you're already taking one step towards that end result. So how you feel in your environment is a big factor to think about.
And I'm also thinking what can happen is there might be like a memory or something that's triggering about an environment that might be similar to a stressful environment in somebody's past. And they might not even realize that they're sort of being triggered until maybe it's too late. And it's like, wow, I never felt good in that place. And then when you start to unpack it a bit, it's like, well, that was a similar place, or it was the place where something happened in their memory or in the past. And it just brought something up to the surface. I think that's part of this. Like, anger is coming from a place that's deep down, and then it's kind of erupting out from that deep down, dark psychological place to a place that is on the surface. Yeah.
And there's other factors that are going to be involved, environmentally. It could be, you might be in a work environment where maybe you've had some conflict with some coworkers, or maybe you've been at the job a long time and you're burnt out, or maybe you're going in every single day and it's a stressful environment. Maybe it's, a really difficult classroom setting with a lot of behavior kids. Maybe you're a police officer and every time you get a call, you don't know if you're going to go into a life or death situation. Maybe you're a firefighter and you know that you're going into a very dangerous situation, right? So work is a big one where some people are just going to be more elevated because they're in these very difficult environments.
Yeah. I think what you said before about like a small or a closed environment or a perceived there's no way out, I think that might be part of it as well. Like, some people that have anger or anxiety issues have to sit facing so that they can see the exit. Because if they don't, they can be triggered into the psychology of I need to escape, I don't feel I can get out, that there's no way out. And then that can trigger either an anxiety or a frustration or a pre-anger even.
It's that feeling of claustrophobia,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Some
And
people
this
get
also,
in
sorry.
elevators,
Yeah.
for example. But yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah. Well, it just circles back to it can be the memory, and it can be gone.
Yeah, it can be the memory of something that happened as a child, or as an adult, just something traumatizing, right? Or it could be something that's just right there where you are now, whether that's something is going to be difficult every day.
And if that does come out, there can be that lack of confidence. Like, I'm not comfortable in this situation. I don't have the confidence to know what to do when I'm in this situation. And that can create that frustration, that anger.
Definitely.